Hello, hello, gutsy women, and welcome to this first session of live events that I'll be running in the Gutsy Women Today Facebook group. And today I'm joined by the lovely Sue Goodrich and the lovely Lorna Gale, and on camera. Hopefully we'll get some more people coming on camera and coming into the Zoom link. The Zoom link is in the events page, posted in there, and it's also in the chat box. You can come in with Zoom with d.uk, or you can come in via the link that I've just posted in the main feed of the group as well. So today we are going to be talking about the myths and the benefits of hypnosis. So a little introduction from myself. I'm a hypnopsychotherapist, and I've been doing this work now for quite a number of years, and over 20, put it that way. And the reason why I started with hypnotherapy myself was because of years and years of chronic pain conditions with IBS. So that's all the bloating and the cramping and the associated symptoms of migraines and stress, anxiety, all of those kinds of things. And I tried everything. I tried dieting, I tried other forms of eating, I tried supplements, I tried medications, I had several procedures to see if I had something far more serious going on, like bowel cancer or stomach cancer or whatever. And those diagnostic tests proved nothing. They were really uncomfortable, but they drew a blank. And I was diagnosed with IBS and associated migraines. And so all of that trauma and isolation and embarrassment came to a head, and I just thought, I've got to do something else. So I trained to be a hypnotherapist and started to work with people with chronic pain conditions like myself. And it was an absolute godsend to me to actually find out how my body could actually be made calmer by simply stilling that small voice inside, that voice that says, I can't, this is terrible, this isn't working for me. All of the things that we can say to ourselves that actually impact what our body feels like. And so that's why I started using hypnotherapy along with psychotherapy to help people heal far more quickly and far more easily, so that they're not living on crumbs, basically, which is what I was like living on. It's like everything I ate seemed to upset my tummy. So I realized after I'd been through hypnotherapy that it wasn't everything I was eating. It was huge impact of my stress and anxiety that was causing that vicious cycle to happen. And one of the things that I come across in all the 20 years of working as a hypnotherapist is the myths, the fear, the suspicion around what hypnosis is and whether it's dangerous or whether it's that you can get stuck in it. And I'm going to go into those myths as well very soon. But I come across these issues quite often, and especially around people who I meet who are people of faith, who feel it's against God and it's letting demons in, or you can be controlled, your brain can be controlled and demons can get in. And so I really feel that there are thousands of people out there who are dismissing this wonderful tool of healing through misinformation and fear. So this is why I've decided to put this up today and to go through all of these myths and suspicions. And then I'm going to talk to you about the benefits, and then we're going to have a demonstration of what meditation is, what hypnosis is, see if you can see the similarities, see if you can see the differences, and how you felt on both of those things. So that's going to be in there as well. So I think what I'm going to do is actually get started and sharing my screen, and hopefully I'll remember to change my slides every time I'm speaking, because I did this afternoon with my daughter and I kept forgetting to change my slides. So I'm going to see if I get this one right. Okay, so let me see what I'm doing here. Let me share my screen. Okay, so can you see that? Yeah, good, great. Okay. Oh, sorry. So today's intention is to demystify what hypnosis isn't and what it is. And we're going to explore the natural connection to how our brains function. And we're going to uncover how it can support healing and not to harm us. And I want it to be interactive, and you're going to get the deepest understanding if you choose to fully participate. So I promise I'll not make you hand over all your money and empty your bank account to me. And I promise I won't make you look like a chicken or dance with a mop. All those things that you've seen on films and on stage hypnotherapy shows. So all of those things. And by the time this session's over, you're going to realize that those three things aren't possibly ever going to happen when you're in a state of hypnosis. So you're going to understand that. Okay. So we're going to start with a brief history of hypnosis. And it's a fascinating history because it's very rich. It comes a lot from cultural and indigenous populations around the world, from places like Egypt and Greece, India and China, because all of those countries hold a lot of wisdom around how the mind influences the body. And in Egypt, years ago, they would have sleep temples along with the Greek sleep temples. And in India and places like China, they have shamans, and they have tribal leaders who all worked with the mind, and they all worked knowing that the mind has some sense of influence, even if they couldn't really put a name to it, but they knew that there was an innate knowing that there was something here that needed to be worked on, and they found that it did really work a lot of the time to help people. And so this rich history came through all of the centuries, and we then come to, over time, all of that wisdom evolved into what we now call modern day hypnotherapy. So it brings together all the ancient insights with modern neuroscience, and all of that helps to support your healing if you suffer with chronic pain conditions of any kind. So who are these people and what did they do with hypnosis? Okay, so you've got three names there. We've got Anton Mesmer, we've got James Braid, and we've got James Esdale. So, and here's some nice pretty pictures of these three guys. So Anton Mesmer, who's ever heard of being mesmerized? Yes, so yeah, it's great, isn't it? That word, being mesmerized. Well, this is the guy who that thing was named after, Franz Anton Mesmer. And he was an Austrian physician in the late 1700s, and he was an early pioneer of what we now call hypnosis. He said that there's an invisible natural force called animal magnetism. And he said that this animal magnetism flowed through all of living things. All living things have this animal magnetism, and we could actually harness it and promote healing through using it. And he believed that the imbalances in our energy caused illness. Now, this is back in the 1700s. How much invisible energetic field around our bodies? we're talking about all of this. We're talking about that now, and people know more and more and more about it. And in 1700s, it was very new. It's a very new concept. And so he thought that this animal magnetism would be harnessed, and it would bring harmony and balance back into the body, and it would relieve symptoms. Now, his theory actually laid all the foundations for hypnosis that we do now, because a lot of what he said was true, and some of it got debunked. But James Braid followed him, and he thought, how can I use this theory to actually work with healing people? He wanted to use it for medical purposes, and he wanted to legitimize hypnosis scientifically. So he had a big job on his hands to do that back in those days in the 1840s. And he actually did some great work. He didn't ever use it for things like anesthesia, but his main work was in trying to legitimize hypnosis for healing in the medical profession. But the person who did manage to use it was James Esdale, and he was a Scottish anaesthetist, and he was a surgeon working in India back in the 1840s and 50s. And he successfully used hypnosis as a surgical anesthesia. So remember, this is the day when ether and chloroform were very, very new. They weren't available widespread, and they had a lot of suspicion around them. And so using Mesmer's and James Braid's theories, he decided to adopt using hypnosis for surgical operations. And he performed over 300 surgeries, including amputations and removal of tumors, all with, believe it or not, the use of hypnosis to anesthetize the person's body so that they didn't die on the table. And he actually cut the death rate from 80% at the time to 8% using hypnosis as surgical anesthesia. And there are documented historical evidences of his work. He actually documented everything, and they're still available. So you can go and Google them and look them up, because they are still there. And like I say, he reduced the death rates to 8%. So again, long before ether and chloroform were widely available or fully trusted. So when we think about all of that, what do you think these guys were actually doing? What would you say, if you would like to either unmute or put a comment in? What would you say they were using because of what they thought? Can you hazard a guess? Nope. Nobody? Okay. Well, this is what they were using. They were using human brainwaves, because that's exactly how our brains work. Okay. So we all have them, or we wouldn't be able to function. Let's put it that way. Okay. And they speed up and they slow down depending on what we are doing. And brainwave activity is now measured, as I'm sure you know, in hospitals. We have brain injury or something like that. Maybe we're in a coma. The medical professionals will measure your brain waves to see if there is any brain activity. And so let's look at all of these individual brain waves. I'm going to ignore that. Let's see if we can look at these individual brain waves and what they actually do. Because you enter a state of hypnosis every day, moving through deeper to lighter states without even being aware of it. So all those people who say that they're frightened of hypnosis, they're scared of it, they wouldn't want to be there, they wouldn't want to do it. You're actually entering hypnosis every single day, multiple times a day at different levels. So let's look at gamma brainwaves. They are the highest brainwaves you can have. They operate at 35 plus hertz. And have you ever had a eureka moment? Anyone? Yeah. That eureka moment, that's your brainwaves on gamma speed. Believe it or not. You're fully focused in learning something new. You're solving a complex problem, and then all of a sudden, everything clicks into place. That's gamma brainwaves in action, okay? It's also a moment of deep compassion or spiritual connection as well, because during moments of profound empathy, of prayer, or when you're in church worship or in deep meditation, your gamma waves are elevated and you're in a heightened state of consciousness and a heightened state of interconnectedness. So gamma waves are, this is what's happening when you're in that gamma wave state. And also athletes, artists, and musicians as well. Anybody an athlete, an artist, or a musician? Yeah. Yay. Thanks, Lorna. So you're in focus, or you're in flow state, right? Athletes, artists, and musicians, when they're in flow state, they're totally absorbed in their craft. Their mind is processing information with precision, with speed. Your movements are all in alignment. They're all integrated, and your focus is absolutely seamless. And this is how a lot of athletes win races. And like, I know hypnosis uses this for golfers and for footballers. So a lot of them have that visualizing, seeing the goal, being in focus, being in really, really aligned. So that's your gamma waves. That's the gamma state of hypnosis. Okay. Then you have beta, your beta state. And this is your everyday waking brainwave speed, if you like, 13 to 35 hertz. So when you're at work or at school, when you're analyzing, when you're making decisions, when you're writing emails, when you're doing mental mathematics, whether your brain's focused and in a logical frame of mind when it's doing task management, this is the beta state. It's also when you're planning and organizing your day, you're organizing your schedule, you're making lists, you're navigating traffic. Basically, any time that you're alert and managing daily tasks, you're also in this beta state. Finally, another example of beta state is when you're in intense conversation. So you're passionately expressing yourself, your opinion, and you're carefully listening. You're formulating your responses, and then you're in tune. So you're tuned into all the details and the external stimuli, and you're going back and forth. And that is a focused state as well, of beta brainwave states. Then we slow down a little bit and we come to the alpha brainwave state. And that is when you're daydreaming and you're just staring out of a window and you're just relaxed. When your mind drifts off, you're not thinking about anything in particular, you're just relaxed. You're present, but you're just relaxed. This is you in alpha brainwave state, another hypnotic state. So right after waking up as well, and before falling asleep, you know, that dreamy, floaty state when you're still aware, but your thoughts are soft and slow and you're doing repetitive thinking. Yeah, that's the same thing. And when you're repeating things and you're doing a soothing task, like you're walking or you're doodling or you're in the shower, all of those things, this is that lovely, relaxed, reflective state of mind. And then we go to theta, which is 4 to 8 hertz. And as you can see by the diagram, you can see the ziggy-zaggy lines and how they're slowing down. So now we're actually at theta, and it's very wavy, it's very undulating, it's just really really getting softer. And you're not quite awake or asleep. Your mind is wandering, trying to work out vivid images or sounds. This is that dreamy, deep, relaxed state of theta when you are just about to nod off or just about waking up. You're hearing sounds, but you just can't quite make out what they are. And you enter into this state through deep meditation as well, and hypnosis, which is why people like myself, hypnotherapists, use this theta and alpha brainwave state in unison. And it's your inward focus. Your external awareness fades away. Time seems to slow down and your body feels either heavy or floaty. And it's perfect for accessing the subconscious mind. So you could be visualizing a future goal. You could be reliving a powerful memory in the past in all its detail, feeling the emotions associated with those things. And this is the inner experience of theta in action. And finally, we have the delta brainwave state, 0.5 to 4 hertz. This is very deep sleep. Anybody here, like me, who never ever remembers their dreams or never ever feels that they never ever dream? Bridget, great. This means that you are in deep, dreamless sleep. You enter delta brainwave state every night then, if this is what's happening to you. Because a lot of people are in that theta stage because their brain is still a little bit active, they're remembering things. But in delta, it's dreamless sleep and your body's fully at rest. Your mind is no longer producing any conscious thinking, and you're in that delta state where your brain and your body do their deepest repair work. So it's when your immune system activates, your tissues repair, vital hormones are released, and it's your body's built-in restoration program, basically. And it's a very rare for this state to be felt outside of the sleep state. Some people can be trained into it, which is what they use for getting you into that surgery state if you're going to have surgery, and you're using hypnosis for that. But it's very rare that people enter the delta state without sleep. Okay, so you can see all of these are evidence of everyday hypnosis. Okay, all of what I've just said is all everyday hypnosis. So when you're reading a book, you're in a state of hypnosis, relaxed. When you're focused and you're driving, the driving hypnosis is absolutely fascinating, because how many of us who drive have got from A to B and missed either part of the trip or all of the trip and gone, how on earth have I got here? How did I can't remember driving. And you think, oh my word, I could have had an accident. Well, no, you can't. And the reason for that is because you've worked on such a repetitive state for so long, you know exactly when to change gear, when to stop at a stop sign, when to wait for a dog crossing the road. You don't have to consciously be aware of it. You're already an automatic pilot. And that's the wonder of being in waking hypnosis, if you like. And obviously the athletes as well, that focused, concentrated, goal-orientated level of brainwave state that athletes, musicians and artists find themselves in more often than the rest of us, in that really, really focused state. And babies are in a constant state of hypnosis all of the time. Their brainwaves are really working, 10 to the dozen. And we tend to slow down, the brainwaves slow down the older we get into our young adulthood, teens, young adulthood, all of that. And we generally focus around the beta stage from that point, being an adult. Right. Anybody got any questions at the moment? Shall I continue? Okay, so we're talking about focused concentration. We're focused on your brainwave state is operating at whichever level you are at, whether you're relaxing, hyper, or sleeping. So if you want to get the end result of, say, a good night's sleep, or pass an exam, create a piece of music, or paint a masterpiece, or heal your body from anxiety, stress, or chronic pain, then you can, if you choose, use your God-given gift of your brain waves. It's a very powerful healer. So let's now start to look at some of the myths and suspicions. Okay, so I've listed 10 here. There's plenty more that I've heard across the years, of the 26 years or so that I've been doing this. So it's mind control. Well, it's not really mind control. It's you agreeing to participate in this hypnotic state. You're agreeing to be hypnotized, and nobody can control your brain. Nobody can put anything in there that you don't want, and you can't even be hypnotized if you don't want to be. Okay, you're in complete control at all times. Okay, you're always in control, you're always aware. No one can make you do anything against your will. So that's the first thing. In fact, it needs quite a focused, strong mind to actually enter hypnosis and actually to participate in it. So that's really good. I always use the phrase, with all your powers of imagination, intelligence, and concentration, because that is what you're using as you go in. Next one, you can get stuck in it. Well, no, you can't. If you think about what I've just said, that it's fluctuating all the time, then it's a temporary state. You're temporarily in beta waves, you're temporarily in gamma waves, you're temporarily in theta waves, alpha waves, and delta waves. Okay, so it's a temporary state. You cannot get stuck. If something was to be said to you while you were in that wonderfully relaxed, beautiful state that nobody wants to actually come open their eyes from, I've never had anybody that said, oh, I can't wait to go home. Everybody goes, oh God, I could have just stayed there. So if that's the case, and somebody said to you, like I just joked earlier on, and when you leave here today, Lorna, you're going to go to the bank and you're going to empty your bank account and you're going to give me all your money. Now, if I said that to you while you were in hypnosis, you would automatically go, what? Because your subconscious's job is to keep you safe. And it's only going to allow suggestions to enter if they fit what you're asking to happen. So you can't get stuck and you can't get controlled, okay? And you will wake up as soon as something really important needs your attention. So that's that one. The next one, it's dangerous or it's demonic. Okay, I'm going to go more into the demonic part after this bit, but I'm going to say it's not dangerous. It's a neutral and natural state. It's how you use it that matters. So it's no different than deep prayer or meditation, brainwave activity. And meditation and hypnosis, where you are guided, you've heard of guided meditation, when you're guided into that state of hypnosis by an experienced therapist who works with you and your personality and uses the right language in order to help you to get the best benefit from what you're there for and the best outcome. So it's just a neutral state, and it's only working on your brain's natural ability to alter its brainwave state without any interference. Only weak-minded people can be hypnotized. No, in reality, it works better with people who with a strong focus and a good imagination. So within hypnosis, we use a lot of storytelling, analogy, metaphor, and imagination, visualization, all of those things. And if you can do those quite easily, then you are much more easily able to go into that state of hypnosis. I lose control and tell all my secrets. Well, no. You are always, always in control. As I said before, your subconscious mind is designed to keep you safe. And it's its only job. That's why it will stop you doing things that you really want to do, because it doesn't know whether the future is more dangerous than what you already know, whether the future is less comfortable than what you already know. So we've always heard of the uncomfortable comfort zone, and we sometimes want to get out of that, but your subconscious will keep going, well, you're still alive, you don't need to do that, just stay here. So really, it's you can't be controlled, you can't lose control or tell your secrets. No secrets will be revealed. If you're going for chronic pain reduction, if you're going for fear of flying, if you're going for fear of spiders, or you're wanting to become a public speaker and you're scared of going on stage, there's no way your therapist is going to ask you to reveal any secrets. It's not going to happen. Okay, hypnosis is just sleep. Well, hypnosis looks like sleep when you're actually there. So, and it comes from the Greek word for sleep called hypnos. But it actually only just coined that phrase because it looks like sleep. But you might feel deeply relaxed, but you're actually in a heightened state of focus and you're not unconscious. And there's no such thing as a hypnotized feeling either. Every single person's brain and body is unique, and therefore every single person will experience hypnosis uniquely to them. They won't experience it in the way that I do. Lorna won't experience it in the way Sue does. Sue won't experience it in the way Bridget does. You all will experience hypnosis in your own unique way. Whatever happens to you is right for you at that time. So you can't get it wrong, really. It only works if I believe in it. Well, no. Openness does help. Being open and being fully engaged, that always helps. But belief isn't actually necessary. Hypnosis works because of how the brain naturally responds to any suggestion. And as soon as there's a suggestion made, your brain waves will alter to actually work out what's going on. So no, it doesn't work just because you believe in it. Hypnosis can wipe your memory or plant false memories. Okay, we've heard a lot about this on films and TV, and you know, people saying, oh, I think there was a false memory. Well, it doesn't work that way, because your memories cannot necessarily be relied on anyway, because when we were small, our brain makes up stories. And so there is no memory wiping at all. Your memories are stored in your subconscious in a memory bank, so it knows what to relate to if it comes across a situation again that feels the same but may be different. So the event might be the same now, but it's not the event that's actually triggering the emotion. It's the feeling around that memory. So memories have to stay there in order for you to be able to operate in future. So think about somebody who's got something like Alzheimer's or dementia. Once they lose their memories, they cannot function properly. So if you came out of hypnosis and your memories were wiped, you wouldn't know where to go home. You wouldn't know what to do. You wouldn't know how to get on a bus. Because all of these are called schemas that your brain is holding on to. They're basically templates of what to do. You know, the first time you go into a restaurant, you haven't got a clue. Your brain's going, searching in its memory banks. What is this? What do I do? How do I sit? Where do I go? The second time you go in, so it stores it because it hasn't got anything to work on. So it stores it in a template called maybe. maybe it's this. And then the next time you go into a restaurant, it fires it off and it goes, oh yeah, I've been here before. I know what to do. I know a waiter's going to come and give me a menu, and he's going to ask me what I want, and he's going to sit me down and ask me for the wine. So all of these things are your memories being kept so that you can operate again. And no false memories can be planted. Stage hypnosis and therapy are the same. Well, stage hypnosis is actually for entertainment, and therapeutic hypnosis is private, safe, and focused on healing. So let's look at stage hypnosis. When you think about it, stage hypnosis is used on people who are there to have a good laugh, to enjoy themselves, and to be part of the show. They want to get up and act the fool. And so the person on stage knows exactly which clever psychology and which clever words to use in order for them to perform at their best. And I'm sure if you've ever been to a stage hypnotist show, anybody that's on here, you'll notice that a few people go up and then he says a few things and then he sends a few back, because those are the ones that are not doing what he wants to do. And he's picking the ones he knows are going to actually give the best entertainment on the night. And of course, people can act the fool and they can get back down and said, wow, I didn't know what I was doing. I was hypnotized. So they've got a really good excuse to be able to do things they wouldn't necessarily normally do in everyday life. So that's the difference between stage hypnosis. That's for entertainment, and hypnotherapy is therapy for healing. And the final one is the quick fix for everything. Well, hypnosis is powerful, but it's not magic. Okay, I want to just make that clear. It's like any therapy, any therapeutic tool, it works best when you're committed and you're fully integrating into the therapy and you're fully following through with repeating the suggestions and all of that. Okay, so that's the myths and suspicions. I want to now go into faith and hypnosis, because this is a big one for many, many people. And it makes me quite sad, actually, because there's so many people who are out there suffering with chronic pain conditions, and they refuse to touch hypnosis because they think it is against God. I often hear this concern, you know, it might somehow go against their belief in God. And actually, the Creator designed our mind and our body to work together to heal. So that's the first thing. Our bodies were designed to work beautifully. We have an immune system for that purpose. Our immune system knows exactly what to do. It's got an innate intelligence, and our mind is part of that. So many people are remaining in this place of suffering because of this fear that it goes against God or that it's demonic in some way. So let me be really clear. Hypnosis is not the absence of faith. It's the application of faith. Let me give you a few scriptures, right? Jesus himself continually pointed us inwards. So in Luke 17:21, he says, the kingdom of God is within you. What did he actually mean by that? And I'm sure lots of people of faith might have different interpretation, but he's saying the kingdom of God is within you. The heaven you seek is inside you. He didn't say it was in a temple. He didn't say that it was reserved for heaven after death. He told us the kingdom, the sacred place of peace, that place of stillness, that place of wholeness and healing is already inside of us. And how do we get to it? We get to it through stillness. We get to it through belief. We get to it through focused attention. And that's exactly what hypnosis is, a state of inward focus. And we turn down the noise of the world outside and we begin listening to that deeper truth that lives inside every single one of us. And Jesus often used metaphor and parables and repetition. He repeated his stories over and over again so that it would go in. He used imagery. He used stories to open people's hearts and open people's minds to his message. And this is exactly the techniques that we use in hypnosis. They're remarkably similar to those of what Jesus was doing. Together to get that inner sense of peace and wholeness. So let me give you an example of how words affect the body and the mind. There was a story about two disciples coming from the road to Emmaus after Jesus had been resurrected. They didn't recognize him at first, but as he was speaking, something shifted inside him, and they both were saying things like, were not our hearts burning within us while he talked with us on the road and opened the scriptures to us? So what they're saying there is, it's a perfect picture of how powerful words can bypass your conscious mind and waken something deeper inside you. So their hearts were bursting, and it was just the words that were being used. It's a kind of spiritual trance that they were in, and it's an alignment of their truth that they were in. And the most famous one for me is the Sermon on the Mount. Okay, so when Jesus had finished saying the things that he was saying, the crowds were amazed by his teachings. And they were amazed because he taught as one authority law, like the teachers in the churches were teaching. He was actually teaching from a place of authority. And when he was speaking, the crowds were captivated. Okay, they were mesmerized, if you like. They were moved. They were transformed. They were changed. And he didn't force healing on them. He didn't force them to follow him. He invited it. He invited with love, with clarity, with his presence, and with suggestion. So this is the core of the whole ethical therapeutic hypnosis. This is what it does. It wakes you up to your inner healer that's already been placed within you by your creator. So faith and hypnosis work together. They're not in opposition to each other. And we've been blessed by God with this God-given physical body, a powerful, malleable, extraordinary mind. We can change our mind. We can change our opinions. We can let things go. We can imagine, and we can believe, and we can visualize. And all of these things we can do to create new realities. So Romans 12:2 says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So this way of working with your thoughts and with your mind is embedded in the teachings of the Bible and of faith. It's simply a way to renew the mind, rewire the painful patterns of fear, trauma, chronic stress, and allow peace and healing and clarity to come through to the surface. So for those of you people who have a spiritual faith, a faith in God, Jesus, and you're suffering from chronic pain, from trauma, from anxiety or illness, I want to say hypnosis isn't magic. It's not demonic. It's not going to let anything in. It doesn't go against God. It's a natural God-given way to enter a place of stillness, to release what no longer serves you, and to connect with that inner kingdom of peace and possibility. So you're not surrendering control to someone else. You're actually reclaiming it for yourself. So I hope that makes it clear that, you know, the Creator gave us not only a body, but he also gave us a mind to help us navigate that body through this planet. And we're perfectly designed with that powerful immune system. And I don't believe God would give us all of those things if we were not supposed to use them for our good. So you don't have to choose between faith and healing. You can do both. Okay. So does anybody know the difference between hypnosis and meditation? Would anybody like to unmute and tell me what you think, what the difference is? or what you think the similarities are.
Is one self-guided and the other one directed?
Okay. Well, they can both be guided and self-directed.
I didn't know you could self-direct hypnosis. That's interesting. That's powerful to know.
Mm-hmm. You can self-direct your hypnosis, definitely, because all hypnosis is essentially self-hypnosis, because you're allowing it to happen. And you can be taught how to use self-hypnosis, and I'll talk a little bit about that towards the end. But there are many similarities and there are some differences as well. So the difference between meditation and hypnosis. So let's take a look before we do actually experience both after this. We're going to do a little demo of both of them, just so you can experience the differences. So meditation actually focuses on what you're aware of in the present moment, okay? And you focus on that awareness in the present moment without any judgment whatsoever. And meditation encourages you to observe your thoughts, but don't engage with them. You're supposed to observe the thoughts passing through your mind and let them pass through rather than interact with your thoughts. And this is why a lot of people new to meditation can find it really hard to actually start to meditate, because they keep going, I keep getting these thoughts in my head and I keep getting distracted. And my mind wanders off on the thought. And so that's what meditation asks you to do. And you can be guided into it. We've heard of guided visualization, and you can be in a group meditation practice and somebody at the front is guiding you and asking you to think of certain things. And meditation is designed just to quieten your mind. It's designed to promote feelings of inner peace. And it's often practiced with minimal verbal guidance. A lot of meditation practitioners use the Om just to make sure that they don't have these thoughts coming in. So they just focus on the Om, on that sound, the sound of the earth. And in the long term, it really does help to regulate your emotions. It gives you clarity and it helps you to be mindful of how you're spending your day and what you're doing. Hypnosis, on the other hand, focuses on directing the mind inward with a desired purpose or outcome. That's the difference. So with meditation, there's no desired purpose or outcome. There's just a feeling of being relaxed. But there is a desired purpose or outcome that is wanting to be released or to be achieved. Like you're wanting to be a good public speaker, or use it for chronic pain relief, or use it for getting over a fear or a phobia. It's similar to meditation because it uses guided suggestion, but its aim is to create beneficial change in your behavior. It's to change your symptoms and reduce the negative beliefs that have been keeping you stuck for so long in a cycle that's not actually helping you. And it's negatively affecting your daily existence, okay? So the way it promotes healing is through reframing your thinking. Meditation doesn't reframe your thinking. Hypnosis reframes your thinking. So you're thinking about something in a much more beneficial way rather than a negative way that keeps you stuck. And your opinions as well. Changing your opinion on something so that that's not keeping you stuck, but it's leading you into a place where you feel much better about your life and your situation. So your beliefs and opinions are changed, and therefore your overall symptoms are changed as well. So although you're using visualization, you're also focused and concentrated your attention, as I mentioned before, on an idea or a concept that you want to work on. And like I said, it's commonly used for chronic pain, anxiety, phobias, habits, and trauma release. Okay. Any questions on that one? Nope. Okay. So it's demonstration time. Are we all ready? to have a little foray into having some meditation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to guide you, use a visual guided visualization to guide you into a lovely state of meditation. And then I'm going to immediately follow it with hypnosis, just to see how you can see the difference in the language patterns and where you're going with it. Okay, so get yourself nice and comfortable, everyone. And as usual, when we go into these states of meditation, we just take a nice deep breath in. And you can hold it for a couple of seconds and then slowly release it all the way down. And once more, a nice deep breath in. Hold. And this time as you exhale, you can gently close your eyes if you haven't already done so. Allow your body just to rest. Allow your shoulders to soften and your breath to slow down. And now I'd like you to imagine yourself standing on a warm golden beach. Maybe it's a beach from your memory or a beach that you can just visualize that you've made up just right at this moment. The sun is soft, it's comforting on your skin, and you can hear the rhythmic sound of gentle waves. They're just rolling in and out. The waves roll in on your in-breath, and they roll out on your out-breath. It's a peaceful hush, like the earth itself is breathing. And with each breath you take, imagine the ocean breeze brushing gently against your face. And it carries the scent of salt and the coolness of the sea spray. And off to your right, there's a tall palm tree swaying in slow motion. Its leaves just softly rustling, dancing with the breeze. And you begin to walk barefoot along the shoreline. Feel the warm, smooth sand under your feet. And with every step, you sink a little deeper into calmness, letting go of tension, letting go of thoughts. Just that inner sense of peace that being on the beach and by the ocean gives you. You're just walking and breathing and being. That's right, walking and breathing and being. And now you find a beautiful spot. And you sit down. Under that tree. And you feel completely supported by the earth beneath you. And the waves continue to roll in and out and in and out. It's like a lullaby for your soul. And with each breath, you go deeper inward. It's as if your heart is gently sinking with the rhythm of the ocean. Peace fills your body, calm surrounds your mind, and your breath flows easily and naturally, like the tide. And you just rest here in this sacred stillness, feeling safe, held, and restored. You decide it's time to head home. So you get up. And you begin to picture yourself walking back home. And before you realize it, as if time has sped up, you're actually at your front door. So I want you to picture your own front door now. Make it vivid and make it real in your mind's eye. What color is your door? Is it solid? Does it have glass panes? Is the handle brass, silver, or wood? And now put your hands onto the handle of your doorway and just gently open the door and step in to your home. And notice the decorations. Are the walls simply painted a lovely color? Is it papered? Look at the ornaments. Maybe there's a mirror on the wall. Maybe there's doors leading off your hallway. But you make your way to your kitchen and you're rather thirsty. And so you choose to make lemonade. So see yourself in your kitchen now. And you open the drawer and you take out the cutting board and your favorite knife with the beautiful handle. And you reach towards the fridge. And as you open the door, you feel that rush of cold air on your skin, on your face. And you breathe in that cold air of the fridge inside. And you pick out a lemon. Feel the texture of the lemon in your hand. The waxy feel of the skin, the dimples of the skin. And you can actually sniff the scent of the melon. Put the lemon up to your nose. Inhale its beautiful scent, its fresh, clean smell. Engage all your senses now. Touch, smell. And you place the lemon on the cutting board and you take the knife and you slice it. And you see the lemon juice oozing out of the lemon onto the cutting board. You see it spraying up into the air in front of you, some of it. And you're tempted to actually take a taste of the lemon. And you cut the lemon into another piece so you have a nice wedge of lemon. And you put it up to your mouth. And you bite into the lemon. And you feel the tangy flavor of the juice as it oozes into your mouth. That tang, it makes your mouth curl up and your tongue curl up and your face squish up because of that flavor. Just imagine lemon oozing into your mouth. Feel the sour juice flood your tongue. Your mouth begins to water, even though there's no real lemon there. That's the power of your mind. And just imagine, and you let your body respond just through imagination. Now take a nice deep breath in. And let that lemon image, that visualization fade away. Fading away fast. And whenever you're ready, you can just gently open your eyes, come back into full conscious, wakeful awareness. Okay, who would like to feed back on what they experienced? You can raise your virtual hand or you can just unmute yourselves. There's not many of us here on the call today. Lorna, please. Thank you.
The first part, it was just as I was immersed in that experience, I could just feel myself relaxing deep. And the latter part was just more of an engagement, an active involvement. The senses and all of those things could feel different reactions. Those are the two ways that I experience the parts.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, it was actually really beautiful. I really enjoyed that. I could feel my body really relaxing as you were taking us through the on the beach by the palm tree. It was so beautiful. And I was in the south of France. And I didn't even want to come to my own home. I actually went to a new home. I actually went to where I was staying in Nice, right? And opened this. It was so beautiful. And then I realized this beautiful kitchen, which I've been wanting. And yeah, it was really incredible. I love the all the directions and how there was this way of helping me become visual and allowing me not only just to follow your direction, but also created space for me to create my own creativity, right? Create my own space, which I really loved. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Sue. Yeah. It's all about the allowing that person to actually start to follow the direction, the suggestions, if they want to, where they want to go with them and what they find. And as you know, everybody's front door is different, everybody's door handle's different, everybody's experience is different, and how far and where they want to go with it. And the meditation was just purely that relaxing state. And hypnosis uses that relaxing, meditative, guided meditation type state to bring you down into that theta brainwave state that we talked earlier on in the slides. it's bringing you to that level so that then the suggestions can start to be placed that you're looking for. So the, you know, getting rid of the fear of spiders or whatever, that's when we start to, so we bring you down with the meditative state into that beautiful, relaxed, dreamy state that you were in at the palm tree. And then we can start to then bring you into more suggestion so that your brain is more and your mind is more able to follow the suggestions that you're looking for to actually get the results that you want. And that's really how it works. Anybody can learn to hypnotize somebody within, I would say, within half an hour. It isn't the state that does the work. It's the therapeutic suggestions that actually do the work. The state of mind is the container in which to do that. That's what hypnosis is. So I can put you into a state of hypnosis and then just leave you there, and you would just wake up when you're ready. But it's the actual therapy while you're in the state that is actually the part that is powerful. And that's the difference. Okay, Bridget, would you like to make any comment? You'd like to unmute yourself? No, it's not unmuting for some reason. Oh, there you go.
I felt really, yeah. Yeah, sorry, I've just been a bit distracted. Yeah, I think I struggled to go from a peaceful state to a conscious state when you asked us to use our senses a wee bit. Sorry, I've got a cold. But yeah, otherwise I found it very peaceful. Yeah. Kind of went back to my childhood a wee bit with the beach thing. Yeah.
That's lovely. Yeah, that's lovely.
My parents lived near a beach, so nice. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so that was just a little demonstration, and I wanted to keep it something light, which is why I chose the lemon rather than taking people into something else. And it's all about tapping in to the subconscious, and it rewires your stress responses. So these are the kind of like the benefits of hypnosis are rewiring your stress responses. Your brain shifts from survival mode to healing, and it regulates your nervous system. So that means it reduces the physical symptoms of chronic stress and anxiety and overwhelm that we find ourselves in when anybody's got chronic pain. And because it taps into your subconscious, where all of your long-held beliefs and habits and emotional blocks are held, they all live there in your subconscious. It allows you to change those negative patterns into more beneficial ones far faster and with longer lasting outcomes as well. So it's allowing you to make the changes, not your therapist. Okay, it's really important to say that nobody is changing you. You are allowing yourself to make those changes yourself, because they're the changes that you want. And hypnosis, another benefit of hypnosis is it supports your mind and body connection. It reduces inflammation, it calms the gut-brain axis, and it improves your pain perception, which is really helpful and effective if you suffer with chronic pain conditions like IBS, migraine, and fibromyalgia. And it's really, really powerful for that. So we're almost at the end now, and I'd like to open it up for any further questions or anything that anybody's got before we move on to the final slide. Any more questions about anything? No? Okay. So what's next? What comes next? There's the beach that I chose to show you. But you all had your eyes closed, so you wouldn't know. So what is next? Well, I invite you to a 3-day self-hypnosis for healing course. And this goes back to what you said, Sue, about I didn't realize that you could actually self-direct hypnosis, and you can. So I've created a very gentle and powerful 3-day self-hypnosis for healing course, and it's designed specifically for people like yourselves to learn how to get yourself into this state of hypnosis. And there's a recorded hypnosis induction in there that you can listen to regularly to keep that repetition going. There's a workbook and a journal, and this is what else you get. So you're going to learn how to guide yourself into a healing state with confidence. You'll reduce stress responses and calm your nervous system. You're going to release emotional blocks that may be stuck in your body, reconnect with the part of you that already knows how to heal, and receive support inside a private, paid, members-only Facebook group. So whether you're new to hypnosis or already believe in its power, this experience will empower you with tools that you can use for a lifetime. And especially for people who've got chronic pain and they're only supposed to take have taken that quota and they can't take any more, and yet the pain is still there or it comes back. So this is a perfect thing for people with chronic pain to be able to use themselves, to learn how to actually use it for their own pain control, as a pain control mechanism. So if anybody is ready to join and come along and learn how to do this, then you can send me a message or comment healing below for payment information and details. It's on $47. It's for 3 days, and you're going to always get that. The recordings always going to be available to you for that. And you've always got the paid members Facebook group to come in and ask questions and be updated on any new techniques and things that we're doing within there. Okay, so no hard sell, just it's there if anybody would like to do that. If you've got chronic pain and you want to relieve pain naturally by using self-hypnosis. Okay. So you get in touch, comment healing under the live of this event in the chat box, or you can email me at d914@protonmail.com and I will get in touch with you and send you some more details on that course. So I want to just thank you all for being here and taking part today. And yes, Sue, can I ask you?
Yeah, so there's a couple of questions. Well, one, Susan Day asked what day or time, and I also want to know how long it is per day. Just some details around your program initially.
Yeah, okay. So it's about 4 hours all told. There's a break in the middle, and there's a lot of learning in that, and there's a lot of practice in that as well. So you can learn how to do that, but I'll send you all the details anyway of exactly how it works and what we're doing and what each day covers. So everything will be in there. So that will answer the question and how the day progresses. Yeah.
Well, I just also want to say thank you so much. You did a beautiful job, and I got some amazing information. And I love that I feel so relaxed after that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it and you felt that lovely feeling and that relaxation. So I'd like to thank you all for being here, for taking part. And I hope that you've learned something new, and that now, if you did have any fears or doubts or suspicions around hypnosis, I hope that I have got rid of those for you, and that you feel more comfortable in actually deciding to actually take that opportunity and use hypnotherapy for your own well-being and your betterment of your life and your experience.
That's great.
Lovely. Okay, I will come off the live stream now. And yeah, for anybody watching who's been watching this rather than being on camera, yeah, I will take a look at your comments and answer any questions that you might have after the live stream's gone. Okay. So thanks everybody, and we'll end the live stream there. Thank you. Bye.